Today, we're going to be 3D printing a Nerf gun. Which is really a continuation of this last project, which was a bit of a fail. And the comments have spoken, it is time for a version 2. So after a lot of design work and a lot of 3D printing, first, we cut this threaded rod into 3 pieces. I'm using 1/4 so hopefully this is the key to making this Nerf gun stronger. I'm also going to be using this. It's supposed to be a bit more impact resistant and tougher than PLA, so hopefully this will help make the Nerf gun version 2 doubly as strong. We start by installing threaded inserts into the barrel module. After attaching a nut to each of the 3 threaded rods, we can slide in the barrel module, followed by the mag holder. We slide on a piece of the body next. After sanding both halves of the handle, we can attach the trigger and the plunger catch. We can then bolt both halves together and slide it onto the threaded rods. If y'all are wondering why there aren't any springs in this mechanism, don't worry, we'll get to that later. We can then attach the polycarbonate tube, followed by another piece of the body. And after that, we can slide in the second to last portion of the body. We then install the ramrod, which has the 2 aluminum flats and 4 O-rings pre-installed because I'm reusing it from the last project. If any of y'all are still a bit confused about how this thing works, then hopefully this graphic should help. While I have Onshape open, I just want to say how nice it is to have a sub-assembly open on one window and a assembly open in another, and then just have the full assembly update live when you make changes. If you've ever CAD'd in another program, you know the multi-window support is not that great and it feels sort of half-baked at best. Onshape, if you're watching, I would love a sponsorship. But anyways, back to the build. I make sure to lubricate the plunger tube with silicone grease, which is safe for rubber. We then transfer over the O-rings from the old plunger to the new plunger, slide in the spring, and finally we can install the buttstock, which we're doing with 3 washers and 3 nuts. Then we can finally install the barrel with 2 M3 bolts. And finally, we can install the handle, which we are also reusing from the last project. And now this build is almost complete. We just need to tighten a few screws around the body. And to get the mag release to work, we're going to use bungee cord. This is one of the other big design changes I made on this project. Instead of using 3D printed springs like last time, I'm going to be using bungee cord. I got this idea from looking at other 3D printed Nerf guns, and I'm using it because it's way more robust, it's easier to service, and it requires way less testing to get the design right. And we're also going to be using this bungee cord for the trigger and catch mechanism too. Now that we're done assembly, let's take a look at the finished product. But how does it perform and how far does it shoot? Well, with physics, we can play a little game of higher or lower. We know the distance between the barrel and the box is 8 feet. We also know that the GoPro shoots at 240 FPS. Taking the average of 5 shots, we can figure out that 90.6 is the average frames that the dart takes to travel the distance. Dividing that by the camera's frame rate, we get 0.0816 seconds repeating as the time it takes to travel 8 feet. Now we can figure out that the average velocity is 97.96 feet per second or 6.084 meters per second. Hey guys, I'm just editing this video now and I realized I forgot to give y'all some context. So 97.96 feet per second is about 67 miles per hour or 107 kilometers an hour, which isn't that fast considering there's blasters that are shooting at 300 feet per second these days. But I still think it's pretty good. It's about the average speed of a car on the freeway. So yeah, back to the video. Now, knowing the velocity as well as the height of the barrel, and also assuming a flat shot, we can do some calculations with the conservation of energy and get an estimate of 15.35 meters, or about 50.36 feet. This seems quite low, and my prediction is that it will go much further than this. So let's find out. So from back there to here is about 75 feet. So roughly, okay. There we go.